Hey there, I'm just going to review what Cholula and I worked on this Tuesday. So we're going to head on over to Michael's. But you can see we're starting off just in the parking lot, walking up to the store. And I'm reinforcing her for those nice check-ins and for stopping with me and sitting whenever I stop. Very nice and safe of her. So we're going to have a nice walk from the parking lot over to the store. And then we're going to head on in. She does a great job of checking in with me as soon as we get into the store, which is often a place where dogs will kind of use their focus. So that was good to see. And then we're going to just kind of start walking through, making sure we're keeping a nice UC so that she's checking in with me. She gets distracted sometimes and looks around at some of the new stuff. I'm just going to say whoops and then stop and wait for her to come back and check in with me. And you can see she's pretty quick at doing that, which is great for a couple of reasons. For one thing, it shows that she can, come back quickly. But that's also her resolving the situation quickly. One of the reasons she's going off to look is because it's a new thing and she's not sure about it, so she's just going to do a little investigation and then come back to check in with me, and that's a pretty perfect response. We're going to practice some default downs, so just whenever I stop, I'm going to see if she can go into a sit or a down on her own and then reinforce her for doing so. And you can see we're just going to walk around the store, reinforcing these good choices, especially if she chooses to come back and check in with me quickly. We can reinforce those choices. We are going to be passing by some other people. She's going to do a great job of ignoring those other people so that we can continue to have a nice walkthrough. Thankfully, no one gets too obsessed with her, but it's still good to be able to walk nicely by those neutral people as well. See right there, she got a little bit distracted by the person going by in the cart, but then she quickly watched them pass and came back to me. And then we're going to keep on going. So we're going to spend some time just practicing walking around the store and working through these distractions. But then we are going to pause for a bit to do some more structured training. So I'm going to skip ahead a bit to that more structured training, which is going to happen after we walk out of the store. She does a really nice job walking out and ignoring the people who are walking in. So the first bit is we're going to get back to the house, and I wanted to take her out to do some recall work. But as soon as we parked, someone came with their off-leash dog to kind of that grassy medium outside your house, but not quite in the park. And she was very interested in this. So you can see her kind of, like I have the sound off, but you can see her kind of, her mouth moving. And that's definitely her kind of whining, giving a little half bark towards the other dog. So we're going to work that disengage a couple of times, in which I mark for her to disengage. And then you can see she's starting to watch and then disengage on her own to check in with me. And I am able to mark and treat for that check-in. I do want to make sure that if she's pausing for too long that I go ahead and mark. Because as you may have noticed, I was a bit late that one time, and she ended up getting in. It'll bark again. I will say these are pretty quiet, cute barks. It's definitely her just being kind of sad and frustrated that she can't go see the dog. But we want to just reinforce her for having some calm, neutral behavior in the car so that she's not having those frustrated FOMO feels while she's in the car. Now I'm going to take her out on a long leash because I wanted to work a bit on her recall. And we are actually in the same grassy area as the off-leash dog. The off-leash dog is just down a bit more. And Cholula knows that the dog is there. So the recall is going to be hard in the beginning of this. And you can see I'm trying to recall her or get her to do a hand touch. And she's kind of blowing me off. So I'm just going to request that recall once. Give her a few seconds to respond. If she can't, I'm going to show some space, get about halfway up that leash, and then prompt that recall again. And then if she continues to blow me off, I'm going to walk all the way up, show her the treats that I had for her, and then use those treats to get her coming back with me. And I will say initially, and I think it was partly because of the distraction of the other dog, I have to be pretty close to her for her to respond. So after, you may have noticed I just had to use the treats to get her back. Even here she's responding, but I'm only a few feet away from her. And typically I can get her responding to a heel here or a hand touch from much farther away. But I think it's just because I'm competing against the other dog and all the smells and fun stuff going on in the environment that I'm having to stay a bit closer. You can see this one's really good. She was looking right at the other dog, and then when I called her over, she was able to come with me. And again, I was maybe 3 or 4 feet away from her, so not very far, but it's so hard for her to call away from the other dog that I'm going to heavy reinforce that, because I know it's a harder thing for her to do. As we get farther away from the other dog, I'm able to start to add more distance. So you can see now I'm probably more like 6 or 7 feet away, and she's doing a really nice job of recalling back to me. And that's partly because we've now been working on it, so she's a bit warmed up, and also because we've gone some distance from the other dog. So yeah, we spent some time doing some recall just for practice, and then we wrapped it